How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Conti and Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The first time they go offense, they take Jordan Love? They take Jordan Love!
Listen, Matisse Thybulle will lock up
Matisse
CP3.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul.
Oh my god.
Chris Paul, baby. Right, Will?
Nope, I totally disagree. Look. Welcome back to Conti and Nick, everyone.
Oh, baby.
We're back. We got Jake. Have you been on here 3 times now?
This is his third trip.
This is
Number
third.
3, mofos. I'm back, baby.
As always, I'm Will Nicholson.
We have not learned our lesson.
We have not. I'm Will Nicholson. I have Gino Conti with me, and we'll give him a proper intro. Welcome him back. Oh my God. Welcoming him back to the set.
Back.
Back. It's Big Jake. Yeah. Big Jake, how you doing today?
Pretty good, boys. How about you?
Doing pretty good.
Hey, Jake, remember, it's the truth.
Everything's the truth.
and they don't want to listen.
They never want to listen.
You know what, Jake? The ancient Egyptian pyramids, the ancient text. What do you got to say about the ancient text before we start?
No, history repeats itself. You gotta read the ancient text to know the future.
You do.
What?
You gotta do. It's the truth.
Everything is.
It's the truth.
Everything. Will, you think we're tripping? Everything's in the ancient text.
I mean, I might be on some shrooms right now, but no.
Might be. That goes without saying.
Jake's always on it.
And then what about back in the day, Jake?
Oh, back in the day.
Back in the day. Back in the day, the Packers were winning the NFC North, and they will continue to win the NFC North, Conti. Which
Well,
is,
we'll
I
get
believe,
to that a little later.
All right.
We definitely gonna start off with the Celtics game, brother.
Oh yeah.
Hell, I mean, knee-jerk reaction though. To kind of get into it, knee-jerk reaction, man. I mean, what did you think? What did you boys think?
All right,
I
it
cannot
was great.
stand Jason Tatum.
Really?
I'll be
Let me
honest
hear
with
it.
you.
Let's hear why.
He, hands down, probably the best player on the Celtics. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not even a debate.
But the thing is, he's just so inconsistent. It's tough. I mean, he's trying to get to the rim. He's getting stuffed. But he has to keep going for it. He'll start getting calls instead of trying to go for just 3-pointers. This is what this team does. Shoots too many threes. They get in the habit of doing it, and they continuously miss.
No, and I absolutely agree. And last week, or rather 2 weeks ago, I said we need to figure out a way to unlock this paint defense. And I think Marcus Smart actually ended up doing that late.
Absolutely.
When he was not only obviously that's on defense when he drew the charge on Giannis. I saw the video of Will freaking out.
Yeah.
That was a great clip. But Marcus Smart was really backing down Drew Holiday there towards the end. And he was imposing his will down low, and he was really getting those buckets. I mean, I don't know if we kind of unlocked something there. I don't know if that's something that we kind of just, did and it won't last. It's not sustainable. But I mean, do you think, it doesn't even have to be with Marcus Smart, but do you think more of those plays just purely backing down and imposing your will? Do you think we found something there? Or do you think
First of all, let me say this. The way that we played last night is absolutely unsustainable. Al Horford shot, I believe, 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line at the free throw line. And the Celtics as a total shot 84% in the fourth quarter. You can't bank on that. You can't bank on in the fourth quarter. You go in and you shoot 84% down by 7. You come back to win by 10. You absolutely can't bank on that every single time. As far as Marcus Smart goes, I think he actually did a great job of setting the tone later in the game. He had some great drives to the basket.
That's what I'm saying.
To get easy buckets, absolutely. He pushed the pace, and he picked the spots really well where he was able to cause confusion between Drew Holiday and I think Grayson Allen or Wesley Matthews.
Yeah, Grayson Allen and Wesley Matthews.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was able to cause confusion there. But this play is absolutely not sustainable. It was fantastic. I mean, credit where credit is due. The Celtics absolutely balled out in the fourth quarter, but this can't be our game plan. I think we need a complete 48-minute game, and that's what we're going to have to play in Boston. We're going to have to make more shots. Daniel Tice shooting threes is not the move. Sorry, Jason Dan, but those just aren't the plays that we need in playoff basketball.
I've never been a Daniel Tice fan.
Yes.
I like Jason Dan. I'm a Jason Dan fan.
I'm a Jason Dan fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge, I do not like Daniel Tice, and I'm not apologizing for it. More so what I was asking is, do you think that, again, we kind of found something with that Marcus Smart backing his...
But the thing
I
is,
think we did. I believe we did.
The problem is, our guy that's been our paint guy has been out most of the past month.
Yeah.
And now his knee's bothering him again.
Wow.
We had something with Robert Williams this whole season, which has been great. We can throw it up to him. He's man the paint. That's pulling guys inside. So that's giving chances for Brown, Smart, and Tatum to drive well. So there's not 3 guys on.
Yeah.
I hate being a Celtics fan to complain about the officiating too. The officiating was absolutely awful last night. Here's the thing. Yeah. I don't mind a tough, physical playoff basketball game. I actually think it's better. I think the tone for the first 3 games where the Celtics played the Nets, I think that was great officiating. I think it was fantastic. The tone was physical, but they called fouls when, there were fouls. And I don't mind consistent, right? We got physical with Kevin Durant. They got physical with us on defense. What I don't like is the inconsistency. And last night was inconsistent, where they were calling fouls on Giannis coming down the floor, and then Tatum's getting bodied and he's not getting the calls. And you might argue, well, yeah, but that's not a foul. It's playoff basketball. Okay, then it's not a foul on the other end, right? Yeah. When Grant Williams took that charge and they called it a charge, first of all, that might be one of the worst calls I've ever seen. There was I heard, he was squared up. His feet were moving.
His feet were in the air.
Yeah, his feet were in the air.
They were in the air.
That was a bad call. And
there was Drew Holiday, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, Drew Holiday's feet were in the air.
I will say. How can somebody be set when their feet are in the air? I give credit to everyone where credit's due. If you're Coach Budenholzer, that is a fantastic challenge. One, because, maybe you might get something with it. In the time, it was a 50-50 call. When you go by fouls, too, at the time, if he wins that challenge, which is what happened, Jaylen Brown has 5 fouls, and now Drew Holiday goes back to 3 instead of 4.
I mean, but that's one of those judgment things, though, where if you don't get the challenge, you look like an idiot. But if you do, you look like a genius.
Sure. But as far as fouls go, I think it was a smart, because what's the worst that happens? If he doesn't get the challenge, they're both at 4 fouls.
Well, right? But then you don't get a challenge, say, if something controversial late game happens.
Sure. But I like challenges like that for, now Jaylen Brown. If we win this challenge, Jaylen Brown's at 5 fouls. Drew Holiday goes back down to 3. I think that's a good challenge, because we didn't play Jaylen Brown until pretty much halfway through the fourth at that point.
So I was talking with this about Jake. Him and I went to Blend, hit up Blend Nutrition, Columbian Square in Weymouth. One of my favorite places to go.
We follow them on Instagram too.
We do.
I think they follow us back.
Follow us. Guess who made that happen?
That was a Gino Conti masterpiece.
Absolutely. I got Brittany Green to follow us too. Anyways. Stop. But I was talking to Jake about this about an hour and a half ago. 16 quarters in this playoff series have been played, obviously 4 games. I legitimately only think that we've won 4 of those quarters.
Yeah.
And somehow
most of them are the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Too. So the fourth quarter of game 4, the fourth quarter of game 3.
And the first 2 quarters of game 2, right?
Yeah, and in the first 2 quarters of game 2.
Where we shot lights out.
Yeah, and then we were awful in the second half.
Yep.
So, I mean, legitimately, the way I look at this, and I know we're kind of talking about last game, but kind of so far with this series as a whole, we have won 25% of the quarters that we have played in this series is tied. If we don't play sloppy in quarters 1 through 3 in game 3, which to me was inexcusable. It wasn't like you were, just struggling and you couldn't get the lid off the basket because it was a tough shooting night. You played sloppy. Yeah. You committed way too many turnovers. Yeah, bad turnovers. Horrible. Lots of Marcus Smart trying to get cute with the lobs to Rob Williams, which they don't work all the time. They work occasionally. That's why it looks so good when it does happen, because it's brought out every now and again.
Yes.
Okay, he tries it way too much. I mean, he's improved as a facilitator greatly this year, but I definitely think that he tries that lob play way too much in a game.
Absolutely.
I say twice a game at most, in my opinion.
Sure. For the Celtics to win, they need to play a complete 48 minutes. We need it. We can't have quarters where, we fall behind in the third. It needs to be within a 5-point game at all times for us to have a chance in game 6.
Yeah, and let's not be delusional. Like, the Bucks are going to go on their run.
Yes.
The Milwaukee Bucks are going to have their stretches.
Or we're in game 5, sorry.
No, you're good. That's fine. I mean, the game series is going 6 now, so hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, Milwaukee is going to have their stretches, and there are going to be times where we kind of have to channel the storm. We can't just completely dominate them like we would dominate, Detroit. Even though we didn't dominate Detroit
this year for some reason.
But do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yes,
we have to channel the storm. And Jake, I actually kind of have a question for you. I know you addressed Jason Tatum and his inconsistency earlier on in the show, but I have realized that you and I shared an opinion that he tried to play too much like Kobe Bryant. And I definitely think within this playoff series, or since they've been hot, I'd say towards the trade deadline, he's actually kind of gotten better at when he knows he's not having a good shooting night to just kind of defer to Brown or Horford or whoever's hot.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and I can't hate on Tatum for this. He steps it up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But my thing is, we shouldn't have to be playing our hardest and our best basketball in the fourth quarter. Like Will said, it should be a full 48 minutes.
And I agree. I completely agree.
When Tatum's not hitting shots in the first 3 quarters, go back inside the paint, get some confidence again, or kick it out.
That's
Which,
basketball 101.
in fairness, is what they did. Tatum wasn't hot in that third quarter, and towards the beginning of the fourth, they did a lot of Marcus Smart to the basket. Al Horford gets a kick to the corner. So it was a lot of good in that, but I want to see Tatum play a consistent, efficient 48-minute game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, because in reality, he really hasn't too much except for, was it that first or second Nets game where him and Durant were just going at each other shot for shot?
Oh, and listen, if there's games when, he's hot and he's hitting everything, by all means, shoot.
Yeah.
By all means, take over.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm saying is games like Game 3, I actually obviously I wasn't pleased with Jason Tatum's performance overall, but I was pleased to see that he really wasn't forcing anything. I believe he only took 19 shots that game.
Yeah, he did.
Which for a superstar is really not much.
No,
which
not
for
at
a
all.
superstar really is not much. And I do kind of want to get into Game 3 a little bit because it has happened since we had our last show too.
But,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Before we go on to that, I got a question for you guys going forward.
Okay.
Now, we haven't used Luke Cornett that much, and
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you got feel this out, right?
Yeah.
Now, Giannis is just getting open looks in the basket just because he's a Greek freak, of course.
I mean, he's gonna do what he's gonna do.
Now, since Cornette's been on the bench, wouldn't we want to use some of his fouls if you foul him out? Make sure Giannis is kind of getting hit hard in the paint. So
I don't feel like Luke Cornett's the guy to do that though.
But why would we try to? Why would we want like Williams to follow it or Smart or Brown?
I guess I think basketball has kind of moved away from that. I think they've kind of moved from the kind of goon where you get the guy. We did that the other night though, right? Where
that's kind of what Daniel Tice is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't disagree with you, Jake. Like, I really don't. And quite honestly, I would like to see it happen. Kind of like a hack of Giannis.
Yeah.
Like a hack of Giannis.
Because Bucks are running older school basketball, not, I shouldn't say like old school, but like early 2000s.
They put the tallest guys on the court. They have a bunch of athletes and a couple of guys who can shoot.
They're driving the
It's
paint.
very much not old school, but it's a little bit of a throwback, I'd say, where you have some absolute dominant force down low that kicks to shoot.
Yeah, it's like you got an iced tea and your iced tea is new school, and then you get 3 sugars in it, and the 3 sugars is the old
exactly.
School. That's my order at Dunkin'
That's
Donuts.
the Pat Connaughton. That's
well, Chris Middleton when he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Grayson Allen.
Hey, wait, shout out to Massachusetts boy right there.
Yeah, shout out Pat Connaughton.
Oh,
He's actually playing a great series. I can't even lie.
So
I real quick credit where credit's due. Everyone gives Derek White a hard time. He shot 4-6 from the games and he had 11 points.
His threes
that's
are
like
getting better.
They are,
and he's hitting them when they're needed.
Sure, yeah.
Which I'm very happy with.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see him improve, but if it's gradual improvement like we're seeing, sure. So real quick, I don't have a lot to say about Game 3, but obviously, like we said, this has happened since we had our last show.
Yes.
So let me just say, I don't understand the logic of having Marcus Smart have the ball in his hand that late in the game. I mean, is there like let me know if you guys have like a justification or a reasoning for it that I'm not
playoff
thinking
smart,
of.
baby.
No,
playoff smart,
not playoff Rondo. Please let me know. But to me, I understand that Jason Tatum was having a rough game. I do understand that completely. But Jaylen Brown and Al Horford were both having a good game.
What are you talking about specifically? The
I'm
fourth
talking
quarter
about
or
the
the
fourth,
last
like the last 5 seconds of the game.
So the last free throw.
Yes, the last. Sure. No, not the free throw.
Where he got
the
fouled.
last sequence where he got fouled.
Okay.
My opinion. So the way I look at this, why does Marcus Smart have the ball in his hand? In my opinion, so real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
In my opinion, if you are a coach and you're drawing up a play and whoever it wants to go to, you give it to number 1, your best player. Okay, I don't care if Jason Tatum was having a best game. Like Jake said, he pulls through and he hits clutch shots. If you don't want to give it to him because he's not feeling it, you give it to Jaylen Brown. Okay, and if in Jaylen Brown, he was having a good game. He was really, making sure the Celtics stayed in that game.
Just give it a prime Horford.
Yeah, and if
Get
you
out
don't
of the way.
listen, yeah, exactly. And if you don't want to give it to Jaylen Brown, okay, give it to the man who's hot. In my opinion, if you're in that scenario, you either give it to your best player, your second best player, or whoever's hot. Marcus Smart is the third best player, but he wasn't whoever was hot.
Sure.
Al Horford is in
we
his prime,
have
baby.
here.
What's good,
You
Brady?
know what? We'll welcome to the set right now. We have Brady Nicholson and Jay Amaral.
Get
that
shit out of my house.
Hey, I wore a marshmallow hoodie in support for you at your play.
You relax, Adam.
Get out of here.
Jay Amaral, it's your first feature on the Conti Nich podcast. We're live on YouTube. Jay, we're talking about the Celtics. You want to give a quick input onto Game 4 last night?
Oh, I thought Game 4 was huge. We started off slow, but in that fourth quarter, we came back strong. Al Horford is much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me
He's in
tell
the
you
front.
something about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay,
We're live.
We're
Brady.
live, Brady.
We're live.
I don't care. This guy has an offensive foul. Don't mute the mic.
Okay,
I'm fine.
okay.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Go ahead. I'm just
I almost did, but I didn't.
I know.
That's why I said we're live, Brady.
This guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever his name is.
Antetokounmpo.
Screw his stupid name. He offensive fouls every time down the court and gets away with it. I don't know why. The NBA refs to Giannis. The whole NBA.
That's a sucking.
That's
compliment.
why I'm saying put Luke Cornett down there and hack Giannis, baby. Come on.
I love it. Thank you again to Brady Nicholson
Gentlemen,
and Jay
it's been a
Amaral.
pleasure.
Featuring on the podcast. I completely lost where we were. Game 3. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were
So-
talking about games. So we were saying pretty
Yes,
much
Marcus
what's the
Smart.
logic in having Marcus Smart with
So
the ball.
here's
I
what I'll
trust
say.
Smart.
Yeah.
I have confidence in him.
I was gonna say that. So one, I agree with you. It should go to your best player, but Marcus Smart, I trust to make the right play. Because while we say, okay, Marcus Smart, he likes to shoot. He's got, the trigger finger or whatever. He likes to pull. I will say he makes a lot of great plays in the clutch.
No, he does.
And that's what
Okay,
it doesn't look like. If you look back at it, and I'll have to look back at it again now too. It doesn't look like the play was to go to Marcus Smart. It looks like that it was inbounded to Marcus Smart to maybe, I think Tatum might have been getting ready to come off a screen. And then he gets overextended on fouls, goes, okay, we're down by 3. Let me get to the line. And then, first of all, when he missed that free throw, that was a fantastic miss. It was exact textbook what you want to do. He gets the rebound. He got fouled on that one too.
Yeah.
He absolutely got fouled on that play. So I understand
here's the
that.
thing, I'm not trying to say that I do not trust Marcus Smart because he made the right play in Game 1 against Brooklyn when Jason Tatum got the game winner. Okay, so I'm not trying to say that Marcus Smart is incapable of making the right play, but in my opinion, when you're in that high leverage of a situation, again, you either give it to your best player, your second best player, and then the third option should be whoever's hot. And
Sure.
Marcus Smart, in my opinion, that game, I'm not saying he had a bad game by any means, but was none of those 3 on that particular day.
Sure.
Do you know what
But
I
I
mean?
don't think the play was made for Smart.
Okay, well, think about this, right? You have 3 guys that they have to worry about. The guy that's on fire and our number
2
1
best
and number
players.
2, right?
Mhm.
You have 5 people on defense. You're double teaming the person that's on fire, our number 1, leaving 1 person on our number 2.
Well, then that'd be Jaylen Brown.
Yes,
So,
so
yeah.
Smart would have an
if
open
we
look
play
or something
back,
like that.
if
that
we
doesn't-
play back this play, it actually looks like the play was meant for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen looks like he's gonna get doubled here at the top. Marcus comes around right here to make a play. Marcus comes around. Marcus gets double teamed. He thinks he's getting overextended, and that's when he just pulls up and he gets the foul.
See, to me, though, it's, in my opinion, if you're Jaylen Brown, now looking back at that, if you're Jaylen Brown, you have to take that shot. If the play's
Sure,
meant for you,
sure.
and if you have such a high leverage scenario, you have to take that shot.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I understand, okay, like, you want to make maybe the right basketball play, but when it's time to be, like, that clutch guy, when it's time to make that play, you can't, oh, I thought I was this. You just gotta not think. You gotta
Sure.
turn your brain off, and you gotta just make the play.
Now,
you know,
to be honest with you, I have more trust and a better feeling when it's Smart shooting a crazy shot over defenders or Tatum when he's out of a natural position than I do Brown or
You know what's getting exposed a lot in this postseason? Jaylen Brown's ball handling. And I know, I think Van Gundy talked about it, and I don't like Van Gundy, but he is right. Jaylen Brown's ball handling it's not disabling to the offense, but it's for sure a weakness because he's a 2 guard. and sometimes Jalen has trouble kind of creating his own shot. You know what I mean? Like, Jalen's good at putting his head down, going to the basket, hitting shots when he has to. He's a very athletic, guy, and he can hit shots in the mid-range. But Jaylen Brown off the dribble is not good offense. So that's become a weakness of the Celtics. And look, moving forward, I have Celtics in 7. We absolutely had to split home court. So this was a massive win. We're going back to the Garden. I think we take it here. I hope we get Rob back, but he's questionable, as we just saw. I think that came out like an hour ago.
Yeah.
So
Giannis.
Yeah.
Luke Cornett, baby.
Luke Cornett for
Hell yeah,
Happy
baby.
Giannis.
So again, all I will say, again, I'll reiterate the point because I think we pretty much said what we needed to say. We can get on with the NBA awards after that. I pretty much just am thinking out of the 16 quarters that we've played, we've won 4. We have legitimately only won 25% of the quarters we've played collectively as a team. And it's not because the other team was better than us, because this series is tied. So that means there's been laziness. That means there's been sloppiness. And when you're going up against the defending champions and you're tied with being lazy and sloppy, that's when you know you're the better team. So play like it.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, that's pretty much, I've said my 2. Does anyone else have anything to say?
I'm good. We're good. We'll get to... Oh, you got something?
I'll say before we go on to the awards, I want to know you guys' opinion on the Shaq Gobert comments going back and forth.
Shaq would glide
buckets.
Gobert, bro.
He would get buckets.
Hey, Gobert shut down the whole league.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, if he gives Shaq COVID, I don't think Shaq's doing anything. So that's a good point.
Where did my pen go? It doesn't matter.
doesn't
The
matter.
show must go on, boys.
Exactly.
So, anyways, honestly, Shaquille O'Neal would dominate Rudy Gobert. There's no question about it. Okay,
It's not even worth talking about.
It's just for views, bro.
Yeah,
it's just for
that's it.
views. It's
Just-
for clicks.
Just for these. It's all for that.
Well, Nicholson is clicking on the mouse.
If you couldn't tell.
Oh, and Jake is
sorry.
jerking off.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. It's become my new favorite joke on the podcast. I've said it a couple of times. I love doing that.
He does. He loves doing it. Who's this? I want to know what French barbecue chicken tastes like.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Dude. It's not even a question. So, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. I'm ready to talk these NBA awards.
Hell yeah.
Cute chicken. Sorry.
No,
You got me hungry now.
Jake's fantasizing. So, as far as I see, I kind of listed this. The way I made this is the awards they got right and the awards that they got wrong. And let me tell you, I have every major one besides one in right, and I only think that they got one wrong.
Wow.
So let me tell you, MVP Nikola Jokic, I think is absolutely right.
I think it's right too.
No Michael Porter Jr.,
Yeah.
no Jamal Murray, and that team was still the 5th seed.
Sixth seed, I believe.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
5th, 6th seed in the Western Conference, and the fact that they were even in the playoffs to begin with and not even playing in the play-in, to me that's beyond impressive.
This is a tough MVP. I wouldn't have been mad if either of the big 3 won it. If Giannis won it, if Joel Embiid won it, or if Jokic won it. I think the thing that gives Jokic the edge, if you look at the pace, the Nuggets play at a pace of 29th in the league offensively without Giannis. And I don't know exactly how they measure pace, and it's hard for me to describe. But I know roughly it's pretty much the numbers that you put up on the floor at what pace you're moving at.
Yeah.
So the pace without Giannis, they play at a 29 or 29th in the league. With Giannis on the floor, they play like a top 6 offensive pace in the league. That's the difference between a team being a top, 5 picking team in the draft and being the 6th seed in the playoffs.
Well, pace
so that's why I
isn't
have the edge.
everything.
No, obviously
Pace
it's not
isn't
everything.
everything.
It's just one of those stats that shows, wow, Jokic is doing everything. But it's hard because we've talked about this a couple of times. There's no direct criteria for the MVP.
Yeah.
It's weird.
This was their whole episode 2 was based off of.
If Embiid stayed healthy the whole year,
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
I feel
at a high
bad.
level.
Embiid 100% deserves to win the MVP this year. He
Well,
does.
No, who does Nikola Jokic have on the team this year? Not talking about if everyone's healthy. Who this year did Nikola Jokic have on his team that's equivalent to Tyrese Maxey?
Pardon? No, I guess for the whole year, no.
No, do you know what I'm trying to say? Nikola Jokic didn't have as good of a player on his team this
Oh,
year
yeah.
as Joel
Okay,
Embiid
okay,
had
my
for
bad.
Tyrese Maxey.
Misinterpreted.
Do you
Aaron
know-
Gordon, baby.
Oh, screw Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
he low-key has not been that good ever
No.
since going on Denver.
No, he
cornrows.
hasn't.
Yeah,
It's got
the cornrows.
to be the corners.
So I completely, utterly see, and I completely agree with Nikola Jokic winning the MVP back-to-back.
I would have been perfectly fine with any of those 3 guys winning it. They all had fantastic seasons.
Of course they did.
Amazing seasons.
Of course.
All of them, honestly, when you look at the numbers, they all play it at pretty much a historic level. Everyone had a phenomenal season out of those guys.
Mohamed Massive Kawhi suffer. Oh,
That
yeah,
too.
that is a 2010 Cleveland Browns like 4th string wide receiver.
Love it.
Remember that name, Jake? Mohamed Massive Kawhi? Is that ringing the bell?
That was ring a bell.
I don't know who that is.
I forget, but I remember.
They got MVP right. They 100% got MVP
So
right.
Coach of the Year, I think Monty Williams. I think
Deserved.
I mean,
Yes.
Rent 1, 2, 3, good.
Yeah, good.
I think we all.
There should be no objection. I would have liked to see it be, Ime, just because of the second half that he had. The full year award. He's been coaching this team at an elite level for the entire year. Absolutely deserves.
Maybe next.
Yeah,
Maybe next
I
year,
also once again to go back to the Nuggets, I think Mike Malone really could have been in question too.
Sure.
And not only that, but what about Tyronn Lue? What about Tyronn
Yeah,
Lue?
yeah.
I mean, maybe kind of a dark horse and a little bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
I mean, not having Kawhi and then getting Paul George very, very late in the season, I mean, and still being able to make the playoffs, I mean...
Billy Donovan's the anti-coach of the year, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you hate Billy Donovan.
I'm not a fan of Billy Donovan.
So we're good. Monty Williams, we got that.
Yes.
Rookie of the Year, Scotty Barnes, I agree with it.
Me too.
And there was a little bit of a toss-up because you did have Cade Cunningham, who came on late, and Evan Mobley, who performed very well. So I definitely think that you could have gone, just like we did with MVP, kind of 1 of 3 ways. Yeah. But I do think that Scotty Barnes definitely contributed to that playoff team very well, more so than any other rookie.
All fantastic rookie season, by the way. All fantastic.
Earlier on, and I were discussing this, and I was thinking Cade Cunningham, but of course, and putting some thought to it. Being on a team making the playoffs and contributing, I think, pushes it a little over.
That's what I'm saying. And if Cleveland didn't get beaten out in the play-in, maybe we'd be having a little bit of a different discussion. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe, but then again, Mobley again. It's a full
It is a full year thing. Mobley wasn't healthy the whole year. I will say I like the way that this award worked because it was okay. Cade Cunningham put up good numbers. Awful team. Still
I really don't
still
think
a
that
great
Detroit
year.
team is awful.
They're not awful, but their record-wise, they weren't good.
They have a lot of young talent,
Sure.
and as much as I'm not advocating for Dwayne Casey to get fired because I mean the man is a former coach of the year. He clearly knows what he's doing. I just don't think it's working for him in Detroit.
I don't think.
I think they just need kind of a new, fresh voice, a fresh face.
You know where I would like to see Dwayne Casey? I'd like to see him on the Sixers.
Yeah,
I think he'd be a decent.
Don't hate that.
I think he'd be a decent fit on the Sixers.
I actually don't hate that.
I don't think that Doc works very well for that team.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't hate that, and you know what? If it happens, first of all, I'll give you props for calling it, and second of all, I'll get excited with you because I actually wouldn't hate that at all. So we got Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, let's try to put our bias aside. I think
Marcus, baby, Marcus is the vet. No, this is the first year, and I've argued this every single time. Marcus Smart easily can be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate every single year. If you watch the games, you see he's the best defender on the court. He locks up your favorite player every single night. It's just the way that he plays the game.
He will play all 5 positions. He said
will.
he'll play center.
And he does. He guards center sometimes. He was guarding Giannis last night. Guarded Brook Lopez a couple of times, which is, scary.
He's very happy with it because, we put an AH in his name now. Marcus Smart, baby.
Marcus Smart. At first I was
Smart.
like, what?
Don't forget about it. That's what he was talking about years ago. He loves it.
Marcus Smart. I will say this is the first year where Marcus Smart's defense on the court has reflected in numbers, and I think it's a big part to him. Marcus Smart was kind of an bench guy a little bit before. Even with Kemba on the team, it's like, oh yeah, but he's not the main guy. This is the first year Marcus Smart is a cornerstone of this team. Obviously he was extremely important before, but he's a top 3 contributor on the team now. He's the point guard, he playmade, and his numbers reflected that defense this time. So this is deserved.
I will say that last month without Robert Williams, because we, of course, having both of them on the court at the same time was huge, but to continuously show how well Smart did without having a really good defensive big man on the court, just showed he's still that main guy.
Who are the other contenders? Giannis.
You had Gobert. You had Giannis.
Gobert is so sorry, man.
But I mean, he is a multi-time.
Sure.
He shut down the league, baby!
I repeat.
He did shut down the league.
So
I think Giannis might have lost it to some recency bias, I'm not going to lie, but
maybe.
Marcus Smart did deserve it.
I mean,
sure.
kind of a weird equivalency.
Finally.
I mean, this is a New England/Boston team. We're like an irregular position where it wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Because
First time since Gary
you know what I
Payton,
mean?
yeah.
Well, yeah, and then for a point guard winning it
Yeah.
for the first time in like 1996.
Yeah.
And then I forget
was
the
it
year.
Gary Payton?
Yeah, it was Gary
Payton.
Payton. And then I forget. I think it was Charles Woodson, and I forget what year it was, but first time for Stephon Gilmore since whenever.
Yeah, no,
you know,
for
I mean,
real.
that's kind of crazy to think about. Like both New England teams, like irregular positions,
Winning the
winning
deep boy. I
yeah.
love it.
That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So
They got
and
this right,
Then
though.
I
They
got
did.
Sixth Man of the Year. I got Tyler Hero.
Absolutely.
I mean, well,
yeah.
obviously
Dude,
Tyler Hero did win it, and I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
I
Dude
don't think so.
absolutely
You
hooped.
don't?
Really? Let me hear.
All Crawford, baby.
Jamal, hell yeah, baby, hell yeah.
He can't win it every year.
Yes, he can.
He's
He
so
can.
good.
He can't.
Lou will, baby.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Jamal Crawford or Lou will. But I mean,
Right.
Jimmer Fredette. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jimmer Fredette.
yes. I know. You know
Jimmer.
what? ISO Joe.
Oh, I love Joe
You know what
Johnson.
he did in limited action this year? Made a bucket.
On the Celtics.
He made the bucket.
He did.
I was there. I was cheering. I got the video. I was going, ISO Joe, baby.
Oh my god.
Oh, we love ISO Joe. No, Tyler Hero 100% deserved this award, though. He absolutely balled out, and I'm glad because I've been a pretty big Tyler Hero fan, and the Miami Heat are my second favorite team. But aside the Celtics, obviously, I liked watching Miami. D-Wade was my favorite player to watch.
Yeah.
And, he just balled off, and I like that this whole, he fell off after the bubble. Oh, the sophomore
He came
slump
back.
is real. He came back, and he balled
I
out
think
this
he's
year.
best off the bench.
I
I do
could be.
like him there.
Could be.
And I do agree he was really good for the Sixth Man of the Year.
I agree. So you know, breaking news. Let's see.
Ooh, we got.
Oh,
what do
we
we got?
fucked
What do
up.
we got? It's John Morant news. That's as much I saw. Grizzlies announced John Morant has a bone bruise in his knee and is doubtful for the remainder of the playoffs.
Stop being a bitch! Come on!
Anyway,
Oh.
Warriors in 5.
Yeah,
at this
that
point.
sucks. But you know what? That kind of makes my next take even tougher because
Yeah.
I'm going to the one.
Oh
that
no,
I disagree
no,
with.
and I disagree with this one too.
What awful
I disagree
timing
as well.
Yeah,
This is awful
all there was-
timing.
What awful timing? I'm sorry. Like, yes, John Morant last year, and I take no pleasure in saying this because I love
I'm a big John Morant guy.
I'm a huge John Morant fan. We all knew, even though last year for him was kind of that sophomore slump, we all knew that this man was destined for great things. How does he win the Most Improved?
I agree.
How does either to me, if you go with Tyrese Maxey or Jordan Poole, I wouldn't have argued with either or.
Desmond Bain too.
Desmond Bain.
Don't forget
so
Desmond
yeah,
Bain.
so
in
those
that.
I was
three.
about to say Desmond Bain.
Yeah, so you're right. So you guys are right. Those three definitely, like, whoever won it was a crapshoot. It kind of seemed like this one came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
You know,
I didn't
because,
get
like,
it.
I don't understand.
No, me neither. See, here's the thing I hate about people who are high in the draft winning Most Improved. You're supposed to be improving.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't draft John Morant and be like, oh yeah, hopefully he stays like a 15, 18 point per game scorer. Like, no, you knew that John Morant was going to get significantly better. Like,
Yeah.
it's what? Is it his second or third year?
This is
in the league?
third year.
Yeah, like, what's that?
It doesn't make sense.
This
me,
is a
that-
bad.
again,
This is a bad call.
Bain,
Also, Desmond
Poole,
Bain.
and Maxey.
Desmond Bain should have won it. 100% Desmond Bain should have won it.
I personally think Jordan.
Sure,
Poole-
I would have.
Well,
I would
he
have
was-
liked Jordan
Don't forget,
Poole.
Bain
Yeah.
was a fringe second round pick. 'cause
Yes.
when he
No,
got
he was.
picked at what 29?
I understand. So, but the thing is with Jordan Poole, like, you wanna what people are talking about, which I don't agree with yet. But when you look at Jordan Poole, first of all, Will, props to you. You were absolutely right about him becoming and blossoming that star. I wasn't sold. Okay, Will was, and he was absolutely right.
Was
so
he one of my
props to him.
candidates this year? In the
I don't-
pre-draft?
I don't
forget.
remember.
Kuzma was one.
I think
which
Kuzma was
Kuzma actually did not have a bad
He
year.
wasn't bad.
He was in the running for like a second.
Yeah,
So-
he was. You know, so and the thing is,
Roy
though,
Hachimura.
yeah,
Love Roy
I do love
Hachimura.
Roy
I love
Hachimura.
Roy Hachimura.
And I love Demi Advia too. But anyway, so Jordan Poole, there is literally saying that this man once Clay, stop now. Once this man when Clay Thompson kind of fades off into the sunset, he's gonna slip right in and be that second splash brother. They're already calling him the third splash brother. I mean, obviously the media likes to pump people up,
Yeah.
but I mean, people don't say that without good cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been
I
hearing a
think-
lot. Like, do you trade Clay now that you have open up some cap room and go sign a big time center?
So listen, I understand he hasn't played in 2 years, but imagine being good enough to create and warrant conversation for you to trade away a top 5 shooter of all time so you can get more minutes.
Absolutely.
That's my
it's
case.
Absurd.
That's my case for Jordan Poole.
Yeah. I agree. He played fantastic.
Oh, you just said Desmond Bain should have won it.
No, I agree that Jordan Poole should have been in the running,
okay,
but I do think that Desmond Bain should have won it compared to John Morant, just because he had.
Compared to John, absolutely.
Well, he had a better points per game improvement, and he had a better assist improvement.
So I agree. So compared to John Morant, absolutely, Desmond Bain should have won it.
And my argument for Jordan Poole, I guess, would be that he played more minutes than Jordan. And I think he had a better shot at winning it. Jordan Poole should have 100% been a candidate, though, and I would have loved Jordan Poole to win it.
And Tyrese
Maxey should have been in the conversation, too.
So there's one guy that we're not talking about. Zion Williams.
What?
Because he had the most improved weight gain
Oh.
out of anybody in the NBA.
He
know
did.
what? Fuck
He
it,
did.
give it to him.
Yeah, he
Instead
put on
of
the most
instead of
house.
the number 2 pick in the 2019 draft, give it to the number 1 pick.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. He had the number 1 most weight gain. No, I really want to see Zion on the floor, though. I do.
I mean,
I want to see him
as
back.
of right now.
Now I'm just spitballing right here, and this is a question spitball. It's gonna
Okay,
throw
okay.
everyone off. If Zion gets traded, where do you want to see him go?
Celtics.
Oh,
well,
no.
You wouldn't love it?
No.
Oh,
No,
I'd
I
love
wouldn't.
it.
I would
I
love to see
love it.
Zion here.
Actually,
Honestly,
we have Al Horford. We're fine.
I mean, it all depends on his loyalty. Imagine Zion and Dame.
Well, it's not
That's
bad.
not the number
one overall
but
pick.
Zion wants to play in a big market.
Huh? I don't
Zion
give a
wants to play
shit
in a
what
big
he
market.
wants. I don't give a shit
Yeah.
what Zion wants.
Yeah.
If he wants to go and he wants to go to a big market, I don't care. I don't care.
I
I'm
think
gonna
Zion
make
and
the
New
trade
York
look
make
best for
way
my
too
team.
much sense.
Huh?
Zion and the Knicks make way too much sense.
Maybe the Knicks, but with him and his injury history, okay, like and him with a coach like what's his name, Tom Thibodeau, someone who was notorious for running his players into the ground. I don't know about that.
I think the Pelicans should trade AD for Zion.
I
mean,
Zion
sorry.
for AD.
Zion for AD. There we go. That's
a reunion.
Hey, Zion a Laker might as well at this point.
So we satisfied with the awards?
Yes.
Hell yeah. So I mean, Will, it is it's time.
I'm ready.
A couple days ago, I believe 4, 5, 6 days ago, one of them to be exact, I made a post on Conti Nich Instagram saying that the Vikings will win the NFC North. Definitive. Now, my reasoning for this was in the post, but I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers is all on his own. Okay, they got Christian Watson in the second round. They finally did draft a receiver in the high rounds, which I give them credit for. But really, I mean, who else does he have? I mean, Randall Cobb is good, but he's old. I mean, Alan Lazard is a solid number 3 at best.
When they get Debo, they'll be fine.
Maybe they'll get Devo, I guess. And their defense is still good. But look at the Vikings. They've gotten a new philosophy. Let's not say it'll be successful, but they finally got a coach that caters to their strengths, which is an offensive coach. And clearly, I understand Kirk Cousins is a middling quarterback, but Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, when Adam Thielen's healthy, that's a top 5, maybe pushing top 3. Not definitively top 3, but pushing a top 3 receiver duo in the league.
I'll be honest with you. Feel disrespected. You disrespected my boy AJ Dillon on the packet.
I do like AJ Dillon.
Okay,
You're right.
I just put that
You're
there.
right.
You didn't mention him.
You're right. I do like
He's a
AJ
dog.
Dillon. I'm
He's a
sorry.
dog.
You know what I did?
Connecticut boy, BC, amazing running back at BC.
You're right.
But like, that's me.
You're right.
So like,
And to add to,
I think the Bears are going to win this division. I think their whole philosophy
Detroit.
of who cares about, protecting our rookie quarterback is flawless.
of course,
I think that wins you games.
yes. And you know what? So real quick, to kind of finish my explaining and my
Sure.
explanation and reasoning, their free agency acquisition: Jordan Hicks, a field general supreme, top 5 in the league in terms of linebackers and tacklers for years now, ever since he joined Arizona. Okay, Zadarius Smith, he's a premier pass rusher in this league. That guy's good for double-digit sacks every single year. And then, listen, Patrick Peterson, we all know is past his prime, but again, to be such a good mentor for Louis Cine, who I believe is going to be a good player.
I do like Kyle Hamilton,
For Andrew
too.
Booth. Kyle Hamilton went to the Ravens.
I keep on messing that up.
he's
Who did
gonna
they
be a
get in the
great
first
mentor
round?
for Booth? Pat Pete.
Booth,
mentoring
that's
for
who I'm
Booth.
thinking of.
Yeah,
My
so
bad.
Booth as well.
Smith
Purple
is gonna-
teams, man, they get me.
Smith will be great with
So
Cine.
and I was going to bring up Harrison
Yeah.
Smith as well. So you have 2 great veteran players alongside, so Harrison Smith and then Patrick Peterson, 2 guys who are past their prime, but on their best days are still very good.
Sure.
Okay, and then you have the young players, proteges under them. I'll admit, I didn't like Louis Cine coming out of college if he didn't go to the right fit. No way you didn't mention Mercedes Lewis. I'm sorry, Colin. That's right, I did not. But definitely now that he has Harrison Smith under his wing, I mean, I think he's going to be a pretty goddamn good player. They drafted great in the second round as well. And Ed Ingram, that guard out of LSU, Brian Asamoah is going to be a good defensive end linebacker.
They're going to be a good team.
They're a good, very solid.
I think they're going to be a playoff team.
They have a great mix of linebacker. I'm sorry, linebacker. Well, they have a great linebacker room, but they have a great mix of veterans and young players. Will, I want to know why you disagree.
Wait, is Yannick on the Vikings?
Yannick is, I believe he's still in Oakland. He's still in Oakland. Because they
Vegas.
Or did he go to the Colts? I think he went to the Colts for
I
Rock Ya-Sin. I think Yannick went to the Colts.
Okay.
Yeah, for Rock Ya-Sin. And then the Raiders got Rock Ya-Sin.
Gino Conti, I have 2 words for why they are not going to win the NFC North.
And
Aaron Rodgers. With Aaron Rodgers is still in that division, it's still his. I'm sorry. He owns every single team in that division. He owns the Lions, he owns the Bears, he owns the Vikings every single time.
Did
it's
he
not
own the
going to matter.
Vikings when the Vikings beat them earlier this year?
Well, still won the NFC North, didn't he?
But I mean, look at what they had, and
Sure,
then look at their
sure.
key
And
departures.
I agree. Devontae Adams is a big loss, and I do think that the Vikings are going to be a very good football team this year. But I'm not ready to pass the torch. Not yet.
Why? Just because of Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
He can't do it all on his own.
It's the only argument I need, Conti.
He can't do it all
I
on
need
his own.
Aaron Rodgers. He's the bad man. Look, he's gonna still carry this team. He's gonna elevate it, I believe. Obviously they're gonna need to make some, a couple more moves at wide receiver.
What about Kirk Cousins?
Will,
Vikings re-signed him.
Will, give your Kirk Cousins analogy again.
Kirk Cousins?
Yeah.
All right, Jay. I don't know if you heard this. Kirk Cousins to me is the definition of a median quarterback.
Yeah.
If you're better than Kirk Cousins, you have a good quarterback situation. If your quarterback is worse than Kirk Cousins, it's time to move on.
Now, let me ask you this: Is
Sure.
Kirk Cousins better than Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Because that's how I always saw Andy Dalton.
Okay.
So, my analogy: Kirk Cousins can get you to the playoffs, win a division.
That's what I'm saying.
So just like that, he wins the NFC
Yeah,
North.
but
Just
listen,
like that.
for all intents and purposes, Kirk Cousins did not play like a middling quarterback last year. He played better.
He
played better
had
than a
some
mid-
bad games, man.
Well,
okay,
put it
but-
this way: you got Cook, hopefully for a full year, no injuries, no off the field issues.
Yeah.
Then you got, of course, their wide
I really like
receivers.
Justin Jefferson too.
Of course. Well, he's elite.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he proved this year that he's absolutely elite.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a Colt. Yeah, Yannick is a Colt. Absolutely right.
Now, I'm just saying, on paper right now, I gotta give the edge Vikings a little over the Packers.
Okay.
Just on paper. Now, this is, of course, once we get to game time.
On paper, it sounds fantastic. Oh yeah, the Vikings got this, they got that. You know who they don't got? They don't got Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, Kirk Cousins is gonna start dwindling down, man. He's getting up there in age, and he's got all his guaranteed money again. So I don't know.
But I mean, Kirk Cousins. But like you said, Kirk Cousins' worst. He's middle. He's a middling quarterback.
Sure.
He played better than a
Well,
middling quarterback.
Kirk
last year.
Cousins does not play good or bad. He plays all right.
And-
Except on prime time, he sucks. And when he's below 500, he plays phenomenal.
I think
That is
that-
the Kirk Cousins spectrum.
Let me tell you, I think you're being a little. I don't think you're being generous enough to him, man. He played better than.
I don't
a
need
top
to be
6
generous to
he
Kirk
play-
Cousins.
I'm not saying he was top 10, but he played better than top 16. He played.
He played right at 16.
I think he was a
He,
little bit
he
better.
played right at 16.
I mean,
he was better than all the rookies on their new teams. He was better than all the shitty quarterbacks and the bridge guys. But he wasn't as good as the franchise guys.
Okay, but then what about Kevin O'Connell? What about listen, Mike Zimmer? We've all said he's not a bad coach.
I said he was a bad coach.
He's not.
I'm glad
not.
that guy got fired.
He's not a bad coach.
Not
The game
according to Chad Greenway.
yeah, exactly. He's not a bad coach. The game has passed him by. There's a difference. There's a difference. You don't think there's a difference?
Gino, like, if you were to throw me in the 80s, like, I'd probably be a phenomenal coach. Like, enough of this time stuff, you know what I mean? Like, he was a bad coach. The game outgrew him. He didn't adjust. Belichick has adjusted
Okay,
to the
well, okay,
era he's
that's
in.
the difference between Bill Belichick and Mike Zimmer.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
like Andy Reid has adjusted.
Okay,
like yeah,
fair.
Belichick's been coaching since the 70s.
Damn.
With Detroit.
and
started out-
Cleveland.
No, he started out on Detroit's staff, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bill's been kicking it for a while.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So what about now? You have listen. I'm not here making predictions about whether Kevin O'Connell is going to be a good coach, but now
I think he'll actually be a good coach.
We'll see. Time remains to be told. But now you have a coach that benefits your scheme.
Yeah.
Now you have a coach. So last year, the Vikings, I believe, won 7 or 8 games, which is
something like that.
For all intents and purposes, 500. I know there are 17 games. They went 500 with a coach who not only favored the defensive side of the ball, that was his specialty, but a coach who also was known for this year and maybe the year before have the game pass him by. Now you have a current new age coach. What's going to happen when Dan Campbell single-handedly bites the entire NFC kneecaps? Lions 17-0.
I like it,
Colin. You know what? Screw you, Colin. I agree with you.
I would really like to see the Lions take a jump, though. I will say
Absolutely, and I will say that. So
I think they will.
I definitely think they will as well. But you know what? I don't understand. Well, because last week, man, I asked you. I go, what would you have rather the Vikings done besides Louis Cine? And you didn't know. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like,
no, like I said, this Vikings team, I agree.
Mass kid, by the way.
Hell yeah.
They're going to be a very, very good football team. They are. I think they're going to be a good team.
Well, you had them as a loser in the draft. I'm just confused.
Sure.
Sure.
Well,
you did. I'm serious.
I know. And I didn't like them trading back all the way that they did. I will say that.
I mean, they got a bevy of
sure,
of picks, and then they got a guy
like that
in
was.
the second
I'm
round
not gonna lie. That was
first.
nitpicky, right? It was a little nitpicky. I didn't like the trading back. I wish they went and got someone else. But here's what I'll say. I think they're gonna be a good team, and I think that O'Connell's gonna be a good coach. He's a guy from the Cowboys. Yes.
No, he was the Rams offensive coordinator.
Okay, I knew he was an OC from somewhere.
Kellen Moore.
Yes, there we go.
Who is also going to be a great head coach whenever his two is called. I just think, honestly, with O'Connell, that's a little bit of a reach for me.
I agree.
For a head coaching. Because he hasn't been coaching that long.
He just got his feet wet as an offensive coordinator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
that does also speak volumes because Belichick loves drafting smart quarterback.
Yeah.
And to be able to learn our playbook, master it, even though he wasn't a great player, but now for that offensive mind to become a head coach right away.
And the Rams do have that complex playbook too on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and so the one thing I will say, and again, I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm going to kind of leave it up to what happens on the field and the on-field results.
I'm not betting against Aaron Rodgers. I refuse.
To determine Kevin O'Connell. Well, we'll see.
Unless it's the NFC Championship. Then I will be betting against Aaron Rodgers.
The one thing I will say, Sean McVay is revered by old school coaches and new school. Because Sean McVay has the ability to be that perfect hybrid where if the team isn't performing or the team isn't going hard enough at practice, he'll say, take the pads off or run until your fucking legs fall off. But, I mean, it's
true.
Jake knows a lot about that. But anyways.
Hey, when I was coaching our freshman team, they got a lot better after I ran them. They stopped fumbling as much.
They did. Jake, again, it's the truth.
It's the truth. 32 200-yard sprints towards the end of the season.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Yep.
I would hate playing for you. I would hate that shit.
The running backs are linemen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The running backs.
Alright.
He went and jumped positions.
Did you? You were a running backs coach this year?
No. I was a lineman
okay.
coach, but I had.
But you ran the running backs.
Yeah,
fuck
I did.
them.
Hey,
The
our
parents
linemen made holes. They were huge.
The parents hated him.
Did they?
They did. They were not all fans of me.
Well, Jake, you can't win everyone over,
No,
He didn't win anyone over.
hey, I won a few people over.
A few.
I mean, that my suave charm. All right.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
the Irishman.
It's the Irish.
It's the Irish charm.
The Irish.
But I mean, kind of just to go back to it, man, I think the Vikings had a fantastic draft. They made a couple of low-key fantastic moves in the offseason. Jordan Hicks had no reason to be released by Arizona. Zadarius Smith, I understand, wanted some more money, so he went elsewhere, but that's a premier pass rusher. You still have Anthony Barr, who's pretty damn good. Eric Kendricks is pretty damn good. Like, Brian Asamoah, I think, is going to be good.
That's a great 4 linebacker duel right there.
That's what
Smith
I'm saying.
at Jack, and you got Hendricks, Barr, Hicks.
That's what I'm saying. And, again, Aaron Rodgers is all on his own. And I understand that he just won.
I refuse.
I
I
understand.
refuse to say that Aaron Rodgers will win this division. I can't do it. I'll believe it when I see it. It's like the Tom Brady stuff.
So, I got a question for you guys. two middle tier quarterbacks that we've all discussed many times between all of our friends.
Teddy Bridgewater.
No, not Teddy
wow.
Bridgewater.
I thought
Who was going to be better this year? Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins?
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
All right.
Matt Ryan.
I don't
Matt
think
Ryan.
he'll be as good as Gino thinks he's going to be, but I still think he will be better.
I think
Kirk.
I think Matt Ryan is gonna. I'm not gonna say he's gonna go back to his MVP form because those days are done. Those days are done. I said it. I said it many weeks ago. Those days are done. But again, when you have a defense that predicates so much time and game plan effort into stopping Jonathan Taylor, and you have a guy who was capable of still playing elite, especially with a great offensive line for the first time, which he's never had, a great defense for the first time, which he's never had. Matt Ryan has less responsibility, and he still has maintained most of his talent, even as he's aged. He's slipped off a little bit. He has slipped off a little bit.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have a safety ball. That's what I'm more concerned about.
I think Mo Cox can be that. I think Mo because he's a big guy, and
I'm not saying that. When Ryan first came out, his safety blanket was
Tony Gonzalez.
No.
Oh, Roddy White. I'm sorry,
Yes.
Roddy White. Yes, Roddy White.
I just don't think they have that right now.
I agree. You know, and I agree
they
that
can
their
find
receiver
it.
room
Yeah.
isn't the best. But Michael Pittman, I do think has potential. And I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name, either in the second or the third round. They drafted a guy, and I forget his name. I'm sorry.
Pascal.
No, they
No.
have Pascal.
Oh, Pascal is a decent.
Yeah, he's
wide
pretty
receiver.
decent.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton, I believe, is still a free agent.
He is.
Yeah,
They're not
and
gonna
then
bring
they
him.
drafted a guy, and he actually is drawing Jordy Nelson comparisons. And if he pans out to Jordy Nelson, man, not a lot of people bring his name up in terms of very good receivers. But Jordy Nelson, for a stretch there, was pretty damn good.
Yeah, he
Need
was.
Some Jordan.
Yeah,
Do love
man,
me some
Jordy
Jordy
Nelson was
Nelson.
really good. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I think you're underrating him a little bit.
Alec Pierce. At
Yes,
Cincinnati.
yes,
Pierce.
Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati, exactly. So he was Desmond Ritter's real, number one weapon.
Yeah.
So
I still can't believe Ritter went over Malik Willis. Hey, but guess who said that Ritter was? Well, I still don't. But
No,
I was
whoa.
high on Ritter. I had Ritter going 16 in my
I
draft.
will say, who would have thought Bailey Zappi would go as high as?
Yeah, I mean, Bill just wants a Brian Hoyer replacement. But
I'm a
Belichick
fan of
doesn't
him,
care.
but
So yeah, we kind of brought this up last week too,
Yeah.
right? We were kind of just like, hey, why do we really care so much? Because Jake brought up a good point. Hoyer is going to be a coach after this year, we believe. Okay, Jared Stidham. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't really get to see.
He's gonna get caught.
We didn't really get to see a lot of him. So
he also broke his back.
yeah, so I don't really see a future with him. So I think he's gone. So I mean, keep 3 quarterbacks on the roster this year, or if you just want to, redshirt Zappy, put him down with the practice squad,
Yeah.
and then next year you have
He wouldn't-
Zappy and Mac.
They
Bill
snag him
has
from the
two
practice squad, to
unathletic
be
white
honest with you.
quarterbacks.
What'd you say?
Someone would snap him or snag him from the practice squad.
So yeah,
Nah.
so then keep 3 quarterbacks. So then keep 3 quarterbacks.
I don't
yeah.
know. I think Bill's just collecting unathletic white quarterbacks like it's the
Hey,
Infinity
we got an
Stones.
athletic quarterback. We signed as a free agent.
True. Cam Newton.
De'Aaron King.
Yes.
No, De'Aaron King. He's gonna play wide receiver.
I
He
heard
100%
that.
is gonna play wide
he's
receiver.
playing a little bit of everything.
Danny
which is cool.
Etling
Yeah.
2.0.
For real, Danny Allen
QB sneak.
2.0.
Oh
Well,
my
uh,
God, that
I-
was such a great run against the Giants.
Yes.
I love it.
It was a great one. Are we good?
No, I'm not good.
Okay.
Jake, tell us about Quinn Miners.
Oh, dude, that belly. That is a belly of a powerful man. All right.
You know
The
that
hair.
man put down a couple of Guinnesses on the weekends. You knew it.
Oh, he knows. But very athletic for a big man.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
I'm
yes,
saying.
yes.
You know what? Who's he going to be better than? Quentin Nelson, right? But you know one man that
Dude,
Quinn
dude.
Miners will not be better than?
It's impossible.
I don't think
It can't
it's-
happen.
I don't think it's an argument. Jake, are you ready for this?
I'm waiting.
One man that Quinn Miners by no means necessary will be better than is
John Bro. Peace, ladies and
Come
gentlemen.
on, Jake. What the
Oh,
heck?
Jake.
God, John, bro, God damn it.
You were ready.
I'm never ready.
Goodbye, everyone.